Believing survivor benefits are only 50% of your spouse's check could cost you thousands of dollars because the real number can be up to 100%. Some people also think you must wait until 62 to claim anything, when the truth is you can start at 60. Believing these myths means leaving real money on the table for years. In this video, I'm busting the 5 biggest myths about Social Security survivor benefits. I'll show you what the Social Security Administration actually says, the real percentages, and what changed with a major 2025 law. By the end, you'll know exactly what you or your spouse are entitled to and what to do next. Let's clear this up, one myth at a time. The first myth is that a surviving spouse only gets 50% of what their spouse received. It's an easy mistake to make. 50% is the actual rule for spousal benefits, the amount a living spouse can get while their husband or wife is still alive. So people assume the same 50% applies after a death. Financial articles sometimes blur the two terms together, spousal and survivor, and that confusion sticks. But survivor benefits are a completely different program with completely different math. The Social Security Administration treats them separately because losing a spouse changes your household income far more than a spouse simply retiring. Confusing the two rules is one of the most expensive mistakes I see people make. Here's the real number. According to the Social Security Administration, a surviving spouse can receive between 71.5% and 100% of the deceased spouse's benefit. The exact percentage depends on how old you are when you claim it. Once you reach your survivor full retirement age, which falls between 66 and 67, depending on your birth year, you get the full 100%. Claim earlier, starting at age 60, and you'll get a reduced amount closer to 71.5%. What should you do? Before you claim, ask Social Security to calculate both your reduced early amount and your full amount at survivor full retirement age. Waiting can add up to real money over a long retirement, so don't guess. Talk to a licensed advisor if you're unsure which age makes sense for you. The second myth is that you can't claim any survivor benefit until age 62. People believe this because it's the standard early retirement age most of us have heard about for decades, so it's a natural number to guess. It's also the minimum claiming age for your own retirement benefit, which adds to the confusion. But survivor benefits run on a different clock entirely. The rules were written to help widows and widowers sooner, since losing a spouse's income is often immediate and urgent. If you've spent years hearing that 62 is the magic number for Social Security, it's easy to assume it applies to every benefit type, including survivor benefits. It doesn't. According to Social Security, you can claim survivor benefits starting at age 60, 2 full years earlier than most people assume. If you're disabled, that drops to age 50. And if you're caring for the deceased worker's child who is under 16 or who is disabled, you can claim survivor benefits at any age at all. There's also a separate one-time payment, a $255 lump sum death benefit paid to an eligible spouse or child, but you must apply for it within 2 years of the date of death. What should you do? If your spouse has passed away and you're 60 or older, call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 to ask what you qualify for right now, and mention the lump sum payment in that same call. The third myth is thinking you can collect your own retirement benefit and a survivor benefit at the same time, stacking them together for a bigger check. It's an understandable assumption. After all, you paid into the system your whole working life, and your spouse did too, so why wouldn't both checks add up? Some people even hear about a switching strategy and think that means getting both benefits simultaneously. It doesn't work that way. And the mix-up leads people to plan their retirement budget around a number that Social Security will never actually pay them. Social Security will not add a survivor benefit and your own retirement benefit together. If you qualify for both, you receive whichever single payment is higher, not the sum of the two. This is why the real strategy, sometimes called switching, is about timing, not stacking. For example, you might claim a reduced survivor benefit early, let your own retirement benefit keep growing, and then switch to your own benefit later if it becomes the bigger check, or vice versa. The 2026 cost of living adjustment raised all Social Security payments by 2.8%, and the average survivor benefit is estimated to rise by about $52 a month because of it. What should you do? Ask Social Security to compare both benefit amounts at different ages before you file, so you claim the strategy that pays the most. The fourth myth is believing that remarrying at any age automatically ends your survivor benefits for good. This fear stops a lot of widows and widowers from remarrying later in life or from telling Social Security about a new marriage at all. It's not an unreasonable worry since remarriage genuinely does end eligibility in some cases. And most people never hear the exact age cutoff, so they assume the rule is all or nothing. That uncertainty leads some people to delay a relationship decision purely over a benefits worry, when the real rule is much narrower than they think. Here's what actually happens. Remarrying before age 60 or before age 50 if you're disabled generally does end your eligibility for survivor benefits on your late spouse's record. But remarry at age 60 or later, or 50 or later if disabled, and your survivor benefits continue with no penalty at all. There's a related rule worth knowing. A divorced spouse can also qualify for survivor benefits on an ex-spouse's record if that marriage lasted at least 10 years, and it does not reduce what a current spouse receives, since ex-spouses don't count toward the family maximum. What should you do? If you're considering remarriage and currently receive survivor benefits, check your age against the 60 or 50 cutoff before you file any paperwork, and call Social Security to confirm your specific situation. The fifth myth is thinking that a government pension will still reduce or wipe out your survivor benefit. For decades, this was actually true. It was called the government pension offset, and it hit teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other public workers who received a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security. Millions of people spent years planning around this rule, telling friends and family to expect little or nothing in survivor benefits because of their pension. That advice was accurate for a long time, which is exactly why so many people still believe it today, even though the law has changed. Here's the update. The government pension offset was repealed by the Social Security Fairness Act, which was signed into law on January 5, 2025. That means a public pension no longer reduces or eliminates your spousal or survivor benefits. The repeal applies to benefits payable for January 2024 and later, so some widows and widowers who were affected became eligible for retroactive payments covering that gap. What should you do if you were ever told you'd get a reduced survivor benefit or none at all because of a government pension? Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 and ask them to recheck your record under the new law. You may be owed money you were never told about. Let's recap. Survivor benefits can pay up to 100% of what your spouse received, not 50%. You can claim as early as age 60, not 62. Social Security pays the higher of your own benefit or a survivor benefit, never both combined. Remarrying at 60 or later doesn't cancel your eligibility. And the government pension offset that used to cut survivor benefits for public pensioners was repealed in January 2025. Every one of these rules has real dollars attached to it, and knowing them can change what you or your spouse collect for the rest of your life. Talk to a licensed advisor about your specific numbers before you file. And if you want a simple one-page guide to every Social Security deadline that matters, download the free retirement deadline checklist. Link in the description. I'll see you in the next one.